host. My name is Kristen, and I really want to talk today about students and how we can get them out into the world of work more efficiently. So I have been studying music business since undergrad, but over the last few years after I graduated, I really got into arts development, arts management, and just general music business in music technology and stage and production management. And as a student, when I look back at my challenges that I went through, it kind of really resonated with me, and I wondered, do other students have these same challenges? So one of the questions that I asked throughout my research, my primary question was, how can we more effectively train student professionals for more fulfilling careers in the music and steelpan industry? And over several weeks, the last several weeks, I asked students some questions, which I will show you just a few of them in a second. So the answer that I got from this really was by assembling a team of advisories for that comprises of like faculty, alumni, and other professional practitioners. And these are, as you can see, the questions that I asked. How ready did you feel to enter the workforce? So I asked both current students and past students who went through music programs. And I asked also, what is or was your next step after studying? What do or did you plan on doing? And are you doing that now? What does your current career path look like? And do or did you have a mentor or someone else to guide your career? Unfortunately, these were the results that I got. 100% of the past students said no to most of these questions, if not all of them. And the current students said somewhat. They feel ready, they have an idea of what they want to do. And it sort of saddened me a little bit because I remember what that was like. And through what I'm doing with my business and my colleagues and stuff, we want to really put students out in a much better position to feel like they're on the right path, even though they haven't figured out completely where they want to be. So as a music business specialist and a steelpan performer, it took some time to really examine the level of readiness to really attack the world of work. And a lot of times, of course, we don't necessarily focus on the world of work, we focus on performance, which in music and in performing arts, it makes sense. But when you go out there and you're really left with no structure within the confines of an institution, it's a lot different. And to really gain the solid footing that students need to get that direction, I feel like a panel of these type of persons throughout the life of a student's career can really help guide them and help them make those decisions. It's truly a lonely road of discovery for myself. And these are the 3 points of identification that I looked at to address the needs of a panelist. The disjointedness between formal education and real world opportunities, the current job markets and the expectations, and the connectedness really between what we do in entertainment, what we do in music, and even sub-industry as steelpanists, and the rest of the world as well. So disjointedness talks about the informal education we emphasize through talent and performance, academics and testing, and general training. And then the real world opportunities talks about earn as you learn, hands-on experience, and the multiple learning opportunities you can get through real world opportunities. Because in the steelpan industry, it's still a young industry growing, and it's a sub-industry of general entertainment. The development is critical in the design and functional strategies within the scopes of what we do. Students really spend a lot of time with their professors, whether they have direct interaction or through other faculty within the same space. That is their main point of contact throughout their education. So really, a lot of the information that they would get comes through that format, which is why I feel like a lot of what we need to learn in music business comes from the education that we get in that space. How we incorporate career counseling into courses that really employ long-term entrepreneurship or practical projects will really improve students' career readiness, and it also improve their soft abilities. So 3 key ways towards presenting learners for professions in music and Steelpan are encouraging networking. I talk a lot about networking, and sometimes I feel like it's not talked about enough, because especially in music, in any field of music, networking is like your #1 thing. And a lot of students, sometimes I encounter and I have to ask questions about, hey, I'm doing a project with X, Y, and Z, like, do you know who they are? And it may be, for example, like the top engineer in the field, and this is a person that you would see in everything. And newer students, younger persons, they wouldn't be familiar with who are the persons, the key persons in that industry that they're interested in getting in. So really encouraging networking, be future focused by making education relevant to future employment markets, and emphasizing digital technology inclusion. So in the current job market, these are some of the top fields in general. So this is not specific to music, but I scoured a lot of job sites, a lot of industry areas, and these are all of the key areas that kept coming up. Scientists, AI learning, general operations manager, but a lot of it focused on heavily on something technological based. And in Steelpan, that's one of the areas that we kind of fall short on really pushing and including. It's no one's fault, but we are still working on development. And every time I see something new come out, I'm really excited to see that we're including more technology in our spaces, whether it's the PanYard, whether it's as an individual or in the classroom. So in our current job markets, these are some of the areas that kind of go across the board in terms of general expected work skills: critical and analytical thinking and innovation, creativity, originality and initiative, leadership and social influence, technology design and programming, monitoring and control, reasoning and problem solving and ideation. So naturally, you might feel like there's a huge divide between general interests and performing arts. But if we take away some of, if we take away some of the terms and definitions in there, we can see at the core of what we do as performers, as educators, entertainers, and so on. These are some of the skills that we utilize in things that we do. We definitely have to utilize a lot of reasoning and problem solving. We definitely utilize technology design in a lot of the things that we're doing within more recent times. Leadership, we have a huge social influence in the field of entertainment and so on and so forth. But as a growing industry, we are without a market, and that's where some of the disjointedness kind of comes in. So we look at skills and expectations. So we have problem solving, as I said, self-management, working with people. We use all of these every day, and it's really about starting to kind of bridge the gap between what we do as entertainers, educators, tuners, builders, and what we do in general music business. So in order for us to prepare students to get out there, I've listed about 7 different factors that we can use. First one being solid understanding of the industry and the ecosystem. As it says, this focuses on how stuff works, the business of Steelpan and the music, not just the playing aspects of it, but the history behind it, the understanding of scores, notations, and all of the things that go along with just, aside from just playing the music that goes with it, the analysis of it. As I said, all it entails, issues, future projections, roles in the industry, and how our industry connects to others, which I will go a little bit more into in a bit. So empathy for artists, understanding the very true needs versus wants of an artist. So even though we ourselves consider ourselves artists, sometimes when you come across somebody else within the field, because you may have had different paths, sometimes there's a divide in terms of how to really help and best use of resources and access to the availability, and how do we support artists in their origination and their growth process. So then we have data, music, and analytics. There's a lot of house in understanding data and analytics with the growth of independent artists on social media. Then we have of course, the law and music copyright licenses and privacy. So this may feel like a lot, but even understanding the mere basics of how these things are growing, especially as we go more digital and technological in the world, understanding just the fundamentals of how these things play a part in your role as a student professional, as artists, doesn't matter what field you're trying to go into, the basics of understanding this. And we have some organizations, for example, like Music TT, that's doing a really good job right now of talking a lot about copyright and licensing and privacy. So we have the live ecosystem, which focuses on the roles and responsibilities in the world of live music and touring. So live music and entertainment is a huge thing. In Steelpan, we still have a lot of room for growth in that field, where we have areas that deal with the economics of tours, concerts, music festivals, where we have managers and promoters and engineers, and all of these people make up that ecosystem. What they do, how they do it, why they do it, and all of the things that go along with what they do is really beneficial for students to know and understand, so they can participate in the ecosystem of live music. And the last two we have is marketing and soft skills for the modern industry leader, that focuses on understanding marketing strategies to build a fan base. As we know, social media is a huge deal, especially with the recent pandemic. A lot of artists did an amazing job of using social media to put themselves out there, but really starting to do more and working on understanding marketing plans. How do we generate revenue? Dealing with cold calling and networking again. And then the soft skills deals with the ability for effective communication, having amazing work ethic. How do you build a network, build and maintain relationships, and so on, understanding financial statements. All of those are some really key things that students need to know getting out there. Okay, how do I survive out here? And all of these things, all of these 7 skills together do a great job of getting them the most basic foundation to put themselves out there after they graduate. So we explore connectedness, that deals with exploring the business, finding their passion, and beginning to develop a presence in the music business. So again, we talk about networking. How do we get students to be better about understanding their role, and how do they themselves thrive without being 100% codependent on other persons? So a lot of Steelpanists, for example, want to be independent artists. There's a lot of things that go into understanding how do you put yourself out there. Again, we come back to networking, reaching out to practicing professionals, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, about things like cold calling and connecting with other persons. And if you do these things as a student professional, you have a much better chance of getting out there when you've graduated, because now you've already built a basic interaction with other persons who are out there who are actually practicing. And then listen more than you speak and ask a lot of questions. A lot of times, especially as students, we don't ask questions. Sometimes people are shy, they don't really want to interact. Sometimes I tell kids all the time, there's no silly question. Everything is valid. If you don't know, always ask. And then we have internships. So one of the things that I realized that there is a lack of is internship and apprenticeship. Apprenticeship I'll talk a little bit about in a little bit, but make your own name to make your name known to the people in the field you wish to enter. So not everybody wants to be a frontline performer. For example, I have gone into management and production, technology, artist development. You know, who are the persons in those fields, and you know, speak to them about how do you get that experience. Internship is an opportunity to apply the knowledge that you're learning in the classroom in a practical real world setting. And it therefore helps hone those skills that you've already learned and learn new ones. Because there's nothing like learning on the job. There are a lot of things that you learn there, of course, that you would not learn in the classroom. And people need to really see proof of your talent. And working in those spaces through internships will already give you that foundation. So you can say, hey, you know, you have references that comes with the education that you're getting. So to tie a lot of these things together is what are the possibilities for bridging the gap between what we do as musicians, as Steelpan performers, or Steelpan enthusiasts, professionals in all of the different fields. So I have a list of several of them, which I won't go through all, but this is just a glimpse of a lot of the different areas that we can merge with music and Steelpan. Of course, the first one would be composition, but not just composition in the sense of, oh, I'm writing composition for a steel band to play. We have the areas of television, film scoring, video game production is a huge industry right now. And when I listen to some things recently, I hear a lot of Steelpan tunes in video gaming, which is so amazing as well, but it's an untapped market. There's media and communication as well, music business, music journalism, musical theater, history of music and history of Steelpan. Those are areas that definitely people are diving into, but we need more persons, of course, to get into it and keep that information alive. We have music psychology, music production. As you can see, there's a whole host of areas that we can really integrate in that focuses on music and the music business alike. So this is an example of what that integration would look like. For example, if you were to integrate music and media, creating designing a website, feature your area of specialization. For example, if you're into video animation, you know, putting yourself in there in that space. And these are things that now you can reach out to a media company. So it still merges the two areas that you're interested in, and you still get to do what you love, because a lot of times we feel like we have to choose. If I'm interested in video animation, but I'm also interested in Pan, like what career path do I build for myself that features both of them? And the rest is also other areas that you can merge as well. Monitoring your blog performances using analytics, managing schedules, framing and editing. That's a huge industry as well, branding and marketing. Another thing that—
closing remarks.
Okay.
Just wrap it up a bit. Thank you.
So reskilling is an opportunity for students as well. Reskilling just talks about learning additional skills that are outside of your primary area. And I've listed some of the areas that do a good job at presenting courses and so on. So we have online platforms like Google Skillshare, Coursera, and LinkedIn. They provide free or minimal cost courses that people can do to add skills to their primary areas, as well as our local agencies and initiating internships and apprenticeships with our areas like the NTC, Panland, and so on. And these are my recommendations for faculty and student professionals. Compile a list of companies for interns and apprenticeships. Engage local ministries to partner with for job expansion and opportunities. Identify key areas to bridge the gap between our specialization as music and Steelpan, for example, journalism, health, travel and tourism and engineering, and connect with Steelpan to employ direct learned experiences to create on-the-job opportunities for students. And this is my advice for student professionals: learn new technology, keep building your skills, and expand your income streams, which is a whole different topic, and thank you for your time. Thank you for having me.